Well, hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Tony. The channel, as always, is Tony's Talking Cards or Talk In Cards. I'll throw in some action verbs in there too, but talking about Ernie Banks cards today, in case you haven't figured that out from the beautiful postcard I got from Scott at Reindeer Studios back at the National. So I want to have that in the background. And as some of you have followed my channel for a little bit, you know that at the National about a month ago, I finished up my Ernie Banks run. Ernie Banks base solo card playing days run 1954 to 1971. And it's so funny because just a little bit ago, I saw that Brad over at Brad's Vintage Collection showed all of his Banks cards too, which gave me the inspiration to, you know what, I haven't actually shown, I think, all my cards since the National, showing them all together. There's probably a handful of these cards that I haven't shown ever just because they didn't maybe fit in with something I was talking about, or I got them in between videos and didn't think to pull them out again. But Brad gave me that kick in the butt I needed to get all my cards together like he did and show my Banks run. So for those of you who follow Brad and me, getting a double dose of Ernie Banks, and didn't Mr. Banks say something about let's play too? So how about we show? I'll show my, this is be the second full Banks run I guess you're getting on YouTube here in the last little bit. So I will start later, newer card to oldest from 71 back. And I'm purposely not going to show the grades just because I want to focus on the card itself. But all the grades are between 3 and 6. The rookie card, of course, is a 1. If you've seen my prior videos, you know that's a 1 I got, SGC 1, probably 4 or 5 months ago. But all the other ones are 3 to 6s, 3 to 5s, and those are just perfect for me and the view of the card, the appeal of the card, the front, the back. And so I will just focus on the front. So without further ado, 2 minutes in, let's start showing some cards. 1971 is the first one. Here's 71 Topps with the beautiful black borders, the bright blue Cubs up top, the lowercase E and B and Ernie Banks, kind of a little cool and different there, playing first base. Back of the card, nice green there. I know it's got a plastic sleeve on it, so it's kind of got some reflection there, but that's okay. Ernie's smiling face there on his last base Topps card, 1971. So that is 71 Ernie Banks. Next up is 1970. Got him with, again, a smile, swinging his bat, the Cubs away jersey on. Not the hugest fan, if that's a word, of the gray, but enjoy the photo of Mr. Banks. The cursive below, again, playing first base. And again, unlike the 71, which just had his prior year and life-to-date statistics, 1970 has all of it, all the way back to 1953, where he had, looks like 10 games played, and his first 2 homers in 1953. 1955, he set the big league record for 5 grand slammers. Very, very good. So there's all that there. 1970 Topps, Ernie Banks. Moving on, some of these cards, about 4 or 5 of them aren't graded. I bought them raw. I don't really plan to grade them. I like them the way they are. And certainly if they had been graded when I bought them, I would have been fine and kept them with whoever they were graded by. But these I bought raw, probably off Facebook, I want to say. And they are sharp, and I will keep them sharp as they are. So 1969 Topps, Ernie Banks. Again, you'll see this picture here in a little bit. It was used as 1968 Topps card as well. And again, like 1970, for all of us stat lovers who like to see what happened in the years before, there you go. And again, it mentions him as a 2-time NL MVP. 1969 Ernie Banks. Next up, 1968, again, like I said. Very similar, actually the similar picture, just more zoomed in on 69. You can see one of his teammates in the background of this card. Again, smiling, at bat, first base for the Cubs. I love these. The borders are tough for identifying wrinkles, creases, blemishes, given the color and design there, but this one is a solid 5.5. Again, nice bright back, and again, for all of us stats lovers, lots of numbers on the back there. 1968. 1967. Again, tons of beautiful cards Ernie Banks has in his run. Nice and centered there. I like that. And then we've got green on the back here. I love the different colors they did too. Some years are green and yellow and blue and red and orange, and kind of breaks up the different backgrounds. I'm curious who came up with all those things at Topps. And funny how football cards for the same year may have had different, background colors. And yet, in some cases, the football designs were very similar to baseball on the fronts in some years, like 58, 59. So who knows? Would love to hear that story too, but that's 1967 Topps Ernie Banks. 1966, another one of the raw cards. I think got off of Facebook as well. And again, these are all the base cards, solo, picture, Topps base playing days cards of Mr. Banks. I do have a number of the other cards like the leaders, all-star cards, things like that. I don't have them all, and I'll probably wait to show those until I have more of them. Also have some Venezuelan Topps issues I picked up as well recently, but I will show those on a later video. 1966. Got a run of raw cards here. 1965. I think Brad mentioned this too. Just the cool, similar. I mean, the cool color matching here of the blue on the hat, blue on his shirt, the red, white, and blue design. The Cub logo, the blue Cubs on the pennant. It's kind of cool the way his helmet's kind of, or his hat's facing that way. The pennant's facing that way. It's opposite, right? But it kind of has a interesting symmetrical look to at least the way I look at it. Kind of draws my attention there at least. And again, like that design, very beautiful design for 1965. Back is blue and has our cartoon Cub up there saying he has 376 home runs at this time. So 1965 Topps. 1964. Again, another raw card here. I love the big, bold team names at the top. Reminds me of 1986 Topps Baseball and other set designs with the big name at the top. Again, not smiling here, but still love seeing the C on the hat, the red below. And the back is kind of a bright orange, which makes it stand out too. I think someone could have rubbed off this at the bottom. No one did scratch up this card, so that's cool. And again, does show all the stats up to this point as well. So 1964. 1963, like 1965, I'll show that one here as well. Got nice color matches on these. I mean, just the red at the bottom, the blue hat, the blue shirt, the blue on the circle there with the second inset smaller picture of Mr. Banks. Just look at these red, white, and blue color matching. I mean, it's just a beautiful card to me, any Cubs fan probably. So 63, I do like the smaller version of the person down there too. Kind of reminds me of 1983, I think it is, 83 Topps Baseball with that kind of smaller picture. Again, standing kind of stoic, but in the background, you've got a few people in the stands there. Kind of an empty stadium, maybe it's before a game. Again, never noticed too much about how many folks are back there, but kind of see what's fuzzy back there too. 1963 back, more of a yellow, dark yellow back there. 1962, wood grain. Again, a nice smiling picture of Mr. Banks. Solid card. Again, tough to see wrinkles and creases and marks with that border design, but do like this version of Mr. Banks's cards. On the back, more of a muted, not bright background. Again, kind of a dark background, but you can see it talks about him. Banks bangs the ball. Ernie led the NL in home runs in 1958 when he blasted 47. So, again, cool card there, 1962. 61 will go back to the raw cards here. I like the nice centering on this one. Got this for probably $30, $35 or so, probably off a Facebook group at some point this year. But again, can't see the blue on his jersey or blue on his hat. Kind of different that way too, but still enjoy the card. Did not pay $3 for that card. Got probably an old top loader I'm using to store this for right now, but again, we'll keep this raw darker green background, 1961. 1960, a lot more color here. There you go, 5.5. I guess I'll show that one here because it's horizontal. Hard to kind of hide that one here, but 5.5 here, 1960 Topps Ernie Banks. This is the one I picked up from Billy Ballgame about 3 months ago. Fantastic, sharp card. Again, lots of colors, green, yellow, blue. Not quite the photo match of 63 and 65, but still pretty to me at least. I love seeing the colors, the way they come together here. So that's Mr. Banks. He's number 10 in the set this year, and you can see the back here, listed as shortstop, along with a highlight from him each month of the year. So a lot of detail there on what happened April through September. 1959, I did not pay whatever that says on the top, but again, a nice raw, solid version here. Sharp corners, nice white borders. I love kind of the action shot, kind of a peephole looking through a hole in a wooden fence. I don't know, to see Mr. Banks at a, looks like it's not at Wrigley Field given his jersey, so who knows where that was, but cool green. Nice dark greens on cards just stick out. I think a lot of us have the same thought about that too. More of a muted, darker background, number 350, 1959 Topps. 1954, back to the bright yellow. And again, I'm not a yellow fan per se, but just this bright yellow, when it looks nice and isn't too dingy, looks really good to me. Despite somewhat maybe clashing with the blue and the red, it's still a nice bright card. Got this in Chicago too, playing shortstop in 1958. And there's the back, number 310. And again, Ernie hit a record 5 Grand Slam homers in 1955. So they reused that fun fact. It's a really good fun fact several years before on his card. So there's that one. Moving back almost to the end. 1957, got this in Chicago. A nice, just crisp photo. Nothing to really distract you from the card besides the photo. Love it when it's both more photo forward like that. You've got the blue Cub hat, the red C, Chicago on the away jersey. Nice centering on that one. Number 55 in 1957. Next, 1956 Topps, Ernie Banks. Again, love seeing the hat with the blue, the red C. Love the inset of him coming home, shaking hands. A lot of other folks have talked about the 56 Topps set and identifying who else is in these pictures, whether it be Hall of Famers on Hall of Famers cards or Hall of Famers showing up on quote unquote, common player cards. Kind of a little mystery and game to play with who's on these cards here. So I've not done that yet. I'm sure someone probably has who number 4 and number 37 are, but we'll look at that later, I'm sure. But again, nice script cursive there of his name. The back of the cards, more of the bright version, number 15. I love the kind of cartoonish Sunday comics view of how they wrote up some of these graphics on the back too to illustrate some of his highlights. 1956 Topps. Just a few more to go. 55. Another horizontal. Again, that nice red, kind of a faded red in the back, light to dark, left to right. The inset of Mr. Banks there on the left. Again, love the colors, the hat, the logo. And again, that cool vintage Cub logo at the top. And the back, again, got more of that Sunday comic strip type look to it, which is really cool, with some trivia and talking about the year there too, and even talking about signed in 1953 after batting 380 in the Negro American League. So there you go. Refers to that too in 1955. 2 more to go. The only non-Topps card here, again horizontal, 1955 Bowman. Got this in Chicago as well. One of the first things I got on that Wednesday. Again, tough borders on some of these cards, not being able to tell if there's wrinkles, creases, and while I like the TV look, it's just hard to kind of see what's hidden in there. So I like to get these if I can in person. Tilt them in the light, all the angles, up, down, left and right, sideways. Get the iPhone light out, see what I can see. This one passed all my tests in Chicago, and glad to have this in my collection too. So back of the Bowman card again has these little write-ups about the best pitcher I've ever seen, and he noted Robin Roberts. He has an exceptional fastball and a good curveball. So very cool there for Mr. Banks. And last but not least, the one I will always show without apologizing for is the 1954 Topps Ernie Banks rookie. I did get this off of a Facebook post about 3, 4 months ago. I was very nervous about it, asked a lot of questions. Luckily, didn't get snatched up while I was asking questions and pondering the price and the sale. Um, I will break my rule a little bit on purpose. This is a one. I mentioned that earlier. Again, I love it that the top, his name is not cut off. And I think the reason for the one, at least that I can see, is again, there's a little bit of tape stain, residue right there on the bottom. There's a little bit up here at the top. It's hard to see given the Cubs logo there, but this is the main, obviously where your eye would go to look like it's off in some way. I joked on another video that looks like he's just digging in. That's a bit of dirt at home plate. That's not some tape. What are you talking about? That's part of the card. Of course, that's just what the story I tell myself. But for me, I think like for all of us, right? Some of us have triggers of things we just can't live with on cards. And if you were to ask my 10-year-old self if I would have bought a card with tape on it, whether it was a Chicago Bear common card or a Walter Payton or anything else, a vintage football card of a Hall of Famer, I was putting those together 5, 10 years ago. Tape would have been like the kiss of death or a pinhole. But, it's been cool this last year or so on YouTube learning about this is the way cards were treated and handled back then. And while you could wait for a more perfect copy in someone else's mind for the price and the date it was available to be up for sale, I couldn't wait. This was a perfect card for me. And the tape, the view of it just kind of gives it more character. And again, this will be my Ernie Banks rookie. Very, very happy with it. So again, the back has more of that kind of Sunday funnies, Sunday kind of comic strip feel, which I like. Love that about it. Talks about again, after gaining recognition as the top ranking player in the Negro National League, Ernie came to the Cubs from the Kansas City Monarchs in September 1953. He is a former Army artilleryman, hit for 22 bases, and he looks like a real hot prospect. So whoever wrote that knew what they were talking about. So, but yeah, that's my Ernie Banks run. Very cool seeing Brad show his just recently. That's so cool. We both are Cubs and Bears guys. I'm finding out both have different collections, but have some commonalities around Cubs and Bears. And glad he's on YouTube. Glad he's doing his channel, showing his cards. And so thanks for the inspiration, Brad, to get your cards out. It got me to get my cards out. And like I said, I will show some more cards later when I get more of the kind of all-star leaders cards that also go with his cards in the 50s and 60s. And I also picked up some Topps Venezuelan versions of Mr. Banks in the last month or so post-national. I've been sharing with a few guys on text messages, but have not shown here yet. So with that, thank you all for watching. It's about 20 minutes. Hopefully you made it the whole way. But if you did, thanks for staying with my rambling and my talking through my collection. Appreciate it a ton. Have a great day, a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.